Thank you for watching or listening to the ASB Author Showcase, spotlighting authors from around the world. ASB Author Showcase is produced by Author School of Business, an author-owned organization helping authors to fully understand the business side of being an author. If you would like to be on the show or to be a sponsor of the show, simply email us at authorschool@outlook.com. Your hostess for today's show is Rox Burkey.
And welcome to Author Showcase. I am so delighted tonight to be able to have a conversation with Carrie Carter. And I mean, I'm a fan. I am so much a fan. So Carrie, welcome very much.
Welcome. Thank you for having me on.
So I'm delighted, and you've had so much fun. I know that originally you started writing short stories, I think, when you were in grade school, right?
That is true. I started writing mysteries when I was in third grade. I was a huge Nancy Drew and Trixie Belden fan. I read all those books. So I decided I was going to write my own short stories, two best friends solving mysteries that always turned out not to be mysteries.
So you made some steps before you actually started writing, though. So what are some of those steps that actually were a great foundation for you to do your writing?
Just in general, well, basically just learning to love stories. I mean, you got to love stories, and you got to love reading. Because if you don't like to read, you're not going to like to write. I mean, I hear somebody say, I want to write a book. I was like, oh, what do you like to read? Oh, I don't like to read. And I'm like, whoa. And just a good foundation and structure and your story and your sentences and looking for things to inspire you in just everyday life, the cat doing something silly, something like that.
And I'm right there with you. I have not met a really successful author that doesn't like to read. So do you have a favorite genre do you like to read, or are you like an everything kind of reader?
I do kind of read a little bit of everything. I have to admit, even though I'm a little bit I really do like romance novels.
Oh, the spicy ones? You like the spicy ones?
Spicy or mild, I just like romance. There's something kind of nice about two people ending up together and falling in love.
Yeah.
And I also really like just slice of life, modern day fiction, about people doing work or dealing with aging parents or, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, but that can be a downer sometimes.
It can.
It's interesting to learn, but you don't want to do it as a daily.
Right. No, I like kind of fun, goofy, uplifting fiction.
So I think that what's important is how did you decide that you wanted to actually go from short stories to this novel?
Well, for this specific novel, it's kind of an odd backstory. So I've always had a bunch of jobs that just weren't really good fits, to put it mildly. And every year I'd send an email to all my friends. I'm like, this is what I like, and this is what I'm interested in, and pick a career for me. And my sister came back and she's like, why don't you just take your love of cats and travel in Japan and telling stories and writing? And she's like, write a book. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant. Why didn't I think of that? And that's how the idea got started.
So when you were doing short stories,
I'm going to stop you.
Incorporate your cat into the short stories?
I'm going to stop you. We were having a problem for the first 3 minutes. So I'd like to go ahead and restart the interview. Hopefully it's all fixed now. I was working on it while you guys were talking, but I want to make sure we get it done right. So can we go ahead and restart it?
Sure.
We can, Ellen. I'm so sorry if I did something wrong.
No, it wasn't your side.
Is it on my side?
No, technical. It's just pure technical.
Okay.
So,
okay.
All righty.
Over, redo.
It's all yours, Rox.
Welcome to Author Showcase. I'm here this evening with the marvelous author that I really enjoy, Carrie Carter. And Carrie, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
I am so excited to learn a little bit about you, how you decided to write. And one of the things I know about you is that you actually started writing short stories when you were pretty young. So tell me about how you went on that journey.
I did. I loved to read even as a kid. And some of my favorite books were Nancy Drew and the Trixie Belden series, which is a mystery, kind of bunch of teenagers solving mysteries. And I was like, I am going to write my own mysteries, which had two best friends, always getting in trouble trying to solve things. And of course, it always ended up that there wasn't actually a mystery and they were just confused. And everyone's like, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, but
kind
that's
of kind of lame ending.
So have you tried to like enter your short stories into contests and or publish them? Or, I mean, what you write as a kid sometimes is very inspirational. It just needs a little, finesse and polish.
I don't know. I don't have any of the stories I wrote as a kid. I don't know what happened to any of them,
Oh,
you
wow.
know. And I did write a short story in college. It was in my the first college I went to, it was in the college magazine. And I don't have a copy of that either.
Oh my gosh.
After
So
moving several times, you lose things.
Today, who's your biggest fan or supporter before you publish this story? Did you have a fan that was kind of, prodding you along and helping you craft it correctly?
I did. And honestly, it was my sister. Now, I will say she did the graphics and the layout and the design in the book, but she was the one who pushed me. She's like, you got a deadline. Where's your writing? Write your 2 sentences every day. Write your 2 crappy sentences. That's what she'd tell me. So she kept me going. And she's like, I believe in this book.
Well, that's really amazing. So she's an older sister or a younger sister?
Older.
Oh, so she can boss you around. I totally get it. So, writing is kind of a journey and you're going through and doing things. Did you find it hard to publish this book? I mean, even for prodding,
I mean, I don't know if I would call it hard. I mean,
Okay.
I had expectations it would take a while to find a publisher. I had expectations there'd be lots of no's and rejections, or you just wouldn't hear anything. So none of that bothered me. But it took about a year of sending off queries to different publishers before I got one that was like, I love it. Let's go with it.
So it is amazing. And the graphics certainly add to every single portion of this book between the photographs and everything else. And I don't want to get into that yet, but I do want to get into the cover. So
Okay.
I find the cover absolutely compelling, fascinating, and about as Japanese as you can get. Because I love
Right.
I went to Japan and I absolutely adore it. So how did this cover come to be?
That was my sister. The cover's all my sister's doing, She would send me a couple of mock-ups and she's like, what do you like? Do you like this? Should I change this? And I was like, I don't know. It all looks good to me. So that was all her doing.
So I know that one of the characters in this book that's a main character in this book is Ashi.
Right.
So I also know that you have a cat.
I do.
Named Ashi.
No, here's where it gets interesting.
How jealous is this thing going on?
So my cat is Frenemy, and I kind of wish we used her for the cat model because she's really motivated by food and easy to do things and take pictures. But we actually used my sister's cat. She told me he's so photogenic. And then every time we try to take a photo of him, he yawns.
Cats are kind of independent. So I found that very fascinating that you could even do them. So did your sister go to Japan with you?
No, she's never been. One of my goals with this book is like, I hope we sell enough copies so I can take my sister to Japan and she could see the things in the book that I write about.
So I want to know kind of what your feeling was the day you actually got this published.
I mean, I got the email from the publisher saying we're interested.
No,
or actually physically published. Okay, physically
in your
published.
hands kind of thing.
It was actually kind of surreal. It was a very surreal sensation. You're looking at this object, this thing, and you could flip through it and read it, and you're like, I created that. Me and my sister together created that. And it's kind of awe-inspiring and kind of humbling too, I don't know. It sounds like it wouldn't be, but it actually kind of is.
So did the publisher have a lot of influence over the content? Because that's something I have heard from others that have, clicked with publishers to get that kind of inroad. Was that a contentious kind of a relationship? Or?
No, we clicked right away. We got along right away. And I got really lucky because she's like, you know what? I like it how it is. We're going to clean up a little bit of the grammar here and there, but we're not really going to change the story structure. We're not going to change the story. It's you telling it, and we're going to let it be. And I was like, oh, wow, that's amazing. Because I've always heard the publisher will make you change a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's been kind of the standard. So obviously you did a good job right off the bat. So you don't need that sort of thing. So then I guess my next question along that same line is, how much help do you get from your publisher? From a marketing perspective, from a social media perspective, events? Do you get a lot of support?
Actually, she's been pretty good. She's done a lot of, kind of promotional stuff. We've done some book signings, and we did a couple of conventions. As far as the social media aspect, I'm in charge of my own social media. She doesn't do that. She's like, that's not my thing. You take it and run with it.
So one thing that's very interesting about this particular book is it's different. It's
right.
not like every book that's out there, because it does put, a cat in the forefront, which, that's a lot of people really love cats. So
yes.
When you're marketing this, who do you target this book for? What kind of reader? Are you targeting it only for cat lovers? Are you targeting it for certain age groups, or?
Actually, there's 3 groups. I actually made a Venn diagram showing you who my target
I love it.
audience is. Somebody who loves cats, somebody who loves to travel, someone who loves Japan, and someone who likes to read. Now, you don't have to fit all 4 categories to like the book, obviously, but that would be the ideal reader.
So what age group did you craft this particular story for, Carrie?
I was really thinking more of adults. Now, I've got a lot of people saying, oh, we thought it might be a children's book. And I was like, well, it could. I mean, a child could read it. There's nothing offensive in it. But I just don't know if a child would be, or even like a junior high student would be that interested in traveling. They might be like, I don't care. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what kids are interested in anymore.
Well, there is that. So one of the things that you have in here that we may end up delving into in the next segment are all of the different food items.
Mm-hmm.
There's one thing that you highlight in here that I think is totally, from 12 years old on, is the food perspective, because there's a lot of food in here. And so did he help you with the food?
Well, I have to say, I really like to eat, and I really like trying new foods and new things. And so that's what kind of inspired all the food into the book. Mm-hmm. And then also I was thinking, while I was writing it, I had to think this. I was like, well, would a cat eat this? Would a cat like this? Would they even touch it? Ashi's an adventurous eater. I will say that, for a cat, because some cats can be very picky.
They can be, but in Japan, there's an awful lot of fish.
Yes.
And if you want to entice a cat, fish will always do it.
Right. I always see photos of like down by the wharfs and the fishermen, and there's cats hanging around waiting to get some scraps.
Exactly. So Carrie, we're going to take a small break. We're going to hear from our sponsors, and we come back. I want to kind of talk a little bit more about the story and what's next on your platter. So stay tuned.
Looking to take your writing career to the next level? Look no further than 100 plus questions a writer/author should ask. With over 100 questions curated by award-winning author and speaker B. Alan Bourgeois, the founder and CEO of the Author School of Business, this book is a must-have for any aspiring or established writer. Bourgeois, a seasoned publisher, author advocate, and educator, brings his wealth of experience to the table to help you better understand the publishing world and succeed in your career. Don't miss out on this valuable resource. Get an additional bonus of a 1-month free subscription to the Author School of Business valued at $12.95.
Each and every one of us has a mission in life. Mine is to help people laugh through the good times and the bad. My name is Charlotte Canyon, and I'm an author, a speaker, and a host on Indie Beacon Radio. If you need me to speak at an event or autograph my book, you can contact me at charlotte@charlottecanyon.com. Thank you, and have a blessed day.
Hi, everybody. This is your author advocate, B. Allen Bourgeois, talking about the 2024 year of the indie authors. It's going to be a great year to celebrate being an indie author. We're from a small press, so we hope you'll come and check it out, be a part of it. You can get a free membership, but there's also programs to help increase your marketing potential to gain more readers and more followers for your books. The website is indieauthors24.com. And on there, you can get this free copy of the book, Top 12 Things to Make the Year of the Indie Authors Great. And it is full of information to help with the marketing of you and your books so that you can be a successful author. So please stop by the website at indieauthors24.com, get the book, sign up for the programs, and be a part of the exciting year that's coming ahead. Thanks and have a great day. Marianne Fairmouth is a career consultant with 30 years experience in the national recruiting world, a multi-award-winning author in multi-genres, and a speaker that gives presentations to help you succeed. Her book, Revolutionary Recruiting, made the top 20 global list of recruiting books. Find her on Amazon, your favorite bookstore, or at fairmouth.com. The ASB Author Showcase with your hostess, Rox Burkey.
To Author Showcase. I'm continuing this really fun discussion with my friend Carrie Carter, and we're talking about the absolutely wonderful book, Whiskers Abroad. And the Whiskers Abroad came because you actually take a cat to Japan. Now, how hard was it to get that cat through customs?
Well, when it's through fiction, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
But in real life, if you were taking a cat to Japan, it's rather complicated. There's all these series of stuff, and you have to get titers for rabies, 6 months, 4 months, 3 months, you have to do all these things. So, but no, I never actually taken a cat to Japan. Okay, yeah. Well, Audrey did. Audrey took the cat to Japan.
Audrey did. And who is Audrey? I love Audrey too.
I will say Audrey looks suspiciously like me, and she likes all the things that I do. So we have a lot in common. So there may be a little bit of myself in Audrey, just a little.
I think writers always put themselves a little tiny bit into every character, and the character development on this was actually well done. Now, I know part of that is because you pulled a lot of your own feelings and thoughts and desires into that character, but it seemed like it was very natural to do that as a character development. So is that something that you're pretty passionate about, is character development as you go forward?
Right. Anytime I'm writing something and I've got a character, fictional or otherwise, I want them to seem real. I want them to have emotions and responses, because the truth of the matter is that's what your reader is interested in. They're interested in the emotional journey of your character, not the fact that they dropped a pin and it blah, 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 or, that plot point. They want to know how the character responds. And I'll have to say this was an easy character to write, since it was basically, me.
So when you did this during the actual travel itself, because I know you went to Japan.
Right.
And I know some of the scenes that you shot were very, very Japan. So, when you go to, the wharf, or you go someplace where you're seeing fish and watching them handle that particular thing, how did you feel as a person versus how Audrey reacted in the story?
I think I'm a little bit more open and adventurous. I'm not like a little bit as scared as she is. Okay. And when I do go, I'm like a little kid. My eyes get wide. I'm looking at everything, and I'm like, I want to see it all and take it all in, good or bad. I'm like, if there's a pile of trash over there, I want to see that too, everything.
So when you were on the docks, did you see a lot of cats?
Yes, I saw lots of cats in Japan, and I didn't even go to Cat Island, which there are 11 of, by the way.
Exactly. So when you saw those cats, did they seem to want people, or did they seem to want the leftovers that they found?
Most of them seemed pretty friendly. They wanted petting. I think they had enough food around that they weren't, they knew they could get more food, but they may not necessarily get petting.
Cool. So one of the things in Whiskers Abroad is the actual sounds that Ashi made. So how do you explain sounds of a cat in a book?
I guess there's some sort of sense of onomatopoeia for one thing, and other it's just you're going with it, you're making it up. I mean, when I was writing it, I was like, if I was that cat, what would I do? What would I think? What would I say? That kind of stuff.
So it's a beautiful cat. So what are the formats this book is currently in?
You can get it as a paperback book, and it also comes as an EPUB ebook. Although I will say I think it works better as a physical book just because of all the pictures and how it all works.
Yeah, the pictures are very telling because they do tell the journey. They do pull the reader into the story a little bit. And they also make you, I don't know, feel more involved in it. Was that your intention?
Yes. And actually that was mostly my sister's intention because she's like, I want it to feel almost like a memory book. Like you're looking through someone's personal vacation trip, pictures of what they did and saw and went, not just necessarily super beautiful professional photography. Because I'm like, if you look at it, a lot of it's not uber professional looking, but it is something a normal average person would take a photo of.
It's an iPhone memory.
Right.
So if I was to get this book, which by the way, I've already read it, but if I was to go get this book, would it help me on a journey to Japan if I followed your footsteps? Would I have experience?
Absolutely. All the places in the book are places I've been to, and they actually exist in Japan. There's the exception of the Tsukiji fish market, which the inner place has been relocated. The outer place where they sell the boots and the garnish and the pickled ginger, they're all still there. But there's actually advice in the book. There's like links to look up. So if you read the chapter on the tuna ticket and you're like, I want to go to Japan and do that, there is a link to the website where you can order the ticket and it gives you the information about it.
That's very cool. So what was your favorite stop?
Oh gosh, that is so hard to say.
I know.
I know, right? Actually, one of my favorite things about Japan is buying green tea. So every time we went there, we went to the Takashimaya department store and the Hombashi, and we bought green tea from the same sales ladies every time. And so in 2016, my husband had a stroke and we obviously couldn't go anywhere. So I wrote the department store and I was like, will you ship overseas? And they're like, no, we don't ship overseas. And I was like, and I told them, we do always buy tea and this and that. And I put a picture there in it with myself and the ladies. And then they came back and they're like, we'll make an exception. We'll send you the tea. So they did. And they all get well cards and little gifts. And then when we did go back to Japan, they were all there at the store. They started screaming and they started crying. It was so just like emotional. And it's like my most favorite moment of Japan. It was just touching,
Totally understandable. That's totally remarkable. How exciting. So how many times have you been to Japan?
14. Although the first time was only for 4 hours. It was a layover.
Okay, that doesn't count. We aren't going to count that.
I count it. I got a stamp in my passport.
Fair. Are you actually deplaned and everything?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We got off the plane and we got off and we went to Narita for 4 hours and walked around there and had noodles. And the chef of the over restaurant was like, you need to come back and, next year. And I'm like, oh, we're never coming back. I was wrong.
Who came back 13 more times. Yeah.
Yes.
I get you. That's really fun. I mean, how exciting is that? So tell me, are you working on another book?
I am. I'm in the process of outlining the sequel.
Oh, nice. Ashi and Audrey are going.
Ashi and Audrey. They're going back to Japan again. And then for the third book, they're going to go to South Korea.
Oh, nice. Very interesting. Have you been there?
I've been there a couple of times. Yeah. And I will say one thing about South Korea is they make it so nice and simple for the tourist. They've got a free number you can call for translation. They've got people on the street in red shirts that will help you if you're lost. I mean, and they've got the best tourist website you've ever seen.
I think that's fabulous. So, Carrie, I'm sorry this has been so much fun, but we're going to take another break to hear from our sponsors, and we'll come back and we're going to go through how people can find you, connect with you.
Sure, sounds good.
Stick around.
The 2024 Year of the Indie Authors is a year-long celebration of self-published writers who have made a significant impact on the literary world. Independent authors are writers who don't rely on traditional publishing houses, but instead take control of every aspect of their book, from writing to marketing and distribution. Self-publishing has opened doors for writers to reach a global audience and retain creative control over their work.
As an indie author, you can benefit from complete control over your book, including content, cover design, pricing, and distribution. You also retain all the rights to your work, allowing for greater royalties in the long term. Indie authors write across all genres, providing readers with a diverse selection of books at affordable prices. The 2024 Year of the Indie Authors is a time to celebrate the hard work and dedication of self-published writers. It's an opportunity to discover new authors and stories, support artistic freedom, and encourage writers to take creative risks. For authors, it's a chance to showcase their work, gain recognition, and network with other indie authors.
Our mission is to celebrate and recognize the contribution of independent authors to the literary world during the 2024 Year of the Indie Authors. We value appreciation, recognition, and inclusivity, and offer various initiatives such as events, promotions, and networking opportunities. We provide a platform for indie authors to showcase their work and connect with other writers while promoting the affordability and accessibility of self-published books. Join us in creating a supportive and inclusive community that fosters creativity and recognition for indie authors.
The garden was still there, full of vegetables and flowers, and a little lone rabbit sat nibbling on a pea plant. Cooney picked, chopped, and cooked some cabbage. Chop, chop, chop. And Coda picked 2 carrots and cut them into pieces. I'm so happy to have a new friend. The end. Wasn't that fun?
Yeah!
As an author, it's important to find an organization that can provide the resources and support you need to succeed in the publishing industry. The Authors School of Business, ASB, is a well-respected organization that has been helping authors learn how to market and sell themselves and their books since 2011. Here are a few reasons why you should consider joining ASB instead of another organization. 1. Expertise and experience. 2. Comprehensive education. 3. Customized learning options. 4. Community and networking. 5. Cost-effective and flexible membership options. ASB is an excellent choice for authors who want to succeed in the publishing industry. By joining ASB, you can benefit from the organization's expertise and experience, receive comprehensive education, customize your learning experience, connect with a supportive community, and enjoy flexible and cost-effective membership options.
Welcome back to the ASB Author Showcase with your hostess, Rox Burkey.
Back to Author Showcase. Oh my gosh, this has been such a fun show, Carrie. I am so excited to be able to have a chat with you. I know the listeners are learning all about you and all about Whiskers Abroad, and I know they're running and getting their copies, whether it's ebook or paperback. So, where can people find your book?
You can purchase Whiskers Abroad at Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble or Books A Million. Your favorite bookstore can order it for you. You can also order it through the publisher, Bayou City Press. And those are the main places where you can purchase it. It can be as a paperback or you can get it as an ebook.
So I know I'm a fan of yours, and I know you actually live in Houston, as I recall. So if I wanted to see you, are you doing any in-person events now where people can, shake your hand, get a signed copy?
I have done some in the past. I don't have anything scheduled right now. If you want to see me play my band, I will be at the Continental Club May 14th.
And where's the Continental Club?
It is on Main Street. I
In-
should know that. I should know that address by heart. 6700, 6600.
Is it on your
block.
website so people can?
It is, yes.
You can take some books with you so people can get you to sign?
I might, I might take some and try to sell some.
Okay, and when is your next book? What's the title of your next book at this point?
At this point, I'm not sure. It's going to be Whiskers Abroad, Ashi and Audrey, something, return to Japan, most likely something along those lines, or more adventures in Japan. They're going to go back to Japan for the next book.
Yep, I heard that. And then we're going to go to South Korea. Okay,
Yep,
so
that's true.
you on your website. What is your website? And kind of say it and then spell it.
Sure.
Carrie.
My website is carriecarterwrites.com. That's CarrieCarter writes, WRITES.com. Carrie Carter Writes.
Nice, very simple. And you have a way for people to sign up for your newsletter?
Yes, there's when you go to the first homepage at the bottom, there's a little box where you can sign up for the newsletter. It comes out twice a month.
Twice a month. Well, that's
Yeah.
good. You're not inundating people.
Right.
So I understand, of course, that you have the Texas Best Travel Book for 2023. Is that a really auspicious honor? Are you excited?
Oh, I was super excited when I heard. I was like, I can't believe it. I won an award. I felt like a little kid, getting candy at Christmas time or something, or their favorite gift.
Well, it is an absolutely stellar story. And so I think the award is warranted. So if people want to email you, how can they email you, Carrie?
They can email me at carriecarterwrites.com. And just to say it again, it's CARRIE.
Okay. So CARRIECARTERWRITES.com.
Correct.
Cool. And do you always respond to people that write you?
I do, unless you're trying to sell me SEO package for my website. I'm like, eh.
So with the short time left, really quickly, what's your one inspiring comment to up and coming authors that you'd like to share?
If you are wanting to be a writer, set some time every day to write 2 sentences, just 2 sentences. Just be consistent. And before you know it, you will have an entire manuscript, because the time will pass whether you write or you don't write.
Awesome. Carrie, thank you so much for joining me tonight on Author Showcase. And I look forward to your next book. I love this book. Folks, go out and get Whiskers Abroad by Carrie Carter.
Thank you for watching or listening to the ASB Author Showcase, spotlighting authors from around the world. ASB Author Showcase is produced by Author School of Business, an author-owned organization helping authors to fully understand the business side of being an author. If you would like to be on the show or to be a sponsor of the show, simply email us at authorschool@outlook.com. Thank you to Happy Follows for creating the music, Frolic of Words, for the ASB Author Showcase. You can find his music on all major platforms